Right on. Welcome. Another live session here on our Monday morning, and excited to have you. I'm Adam Hart,
And I'm Carl Swantoon.
and we are Clear Impact Coaching.
Yeah. So what we're talking about today, we are talking about our culture of stress, how overwhelming it feels. And at the end of the talk, we'll talk about how you can thrive in it and not have it impact you as significantly as it may be doing right now. So what do we mean when we say a culture of stress, Adam?
Well, we are living in an environment for the most part, especially for us in North America, where we are bombarded with things that create a fight or flight response in our body, and it impacts the way the body functions, impacts the way the mind functions. And a lot of it are things that we just think are normal. And
that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the key. Stuff we figure is normal, like the news, media, TV, it's one of our go-tos to, I don't know, to pass the time or be entertained, yet it's a lot of negative, a lot of challenging stuff to watch, and it creates stress. What another example? What's another example of something that is just part of normal life that's actually a major stressor, Adam?
well, I would say the number one is, number one on my list, that when I cleaned it up, it made a huge difference, was artificial light.
Mm.
All right.
And where's that come from?
Is that what you're asking me for? You want
Sure, stuff like that. Yeah, those things that are stressors. That culture of stress. Artificial light's a great one. Computers, cell phones, TV.
Rubber sole shoes.
Yeah, a lack of being connected to the earth. I mean, that's getting to the more technical side of it, but just basic stuff like processed food actually massively stresses our bodies. As Adam said, artificial light, and that can even mean light bulbs, right? Just having light bulbs on at nighttime can put stress in our bodies. I think a really interesting one is the toxic energy of other people that are really stressed, that are really revved up. And when we connect with that, as we'll talk about later, we co-regulate with them, and we can get impacted by their negativity and, create more stress within ourselves as well. But it's across the board, isn't it? Like in terms of our culture, pollution, bad air, polluted water, noise pollution. There's just so much that's stressing us out.
Yeah.
And so, and then I heard this question recently. Someone said, but hasn't there always been stress? Like, wasn't there stress for people in the Middle Ages and stress for the cavemen? Yeah, right. Of course, there's always been stress. And there's two parts of that. Number one, stress is part of life. It's an important part of life. Stress is there for a reason. It's to motivate us to take action. It's to move us towards growth, maybe, to protect us from danger, all of those things. So stress was always there. And, obviously in the caveman days, the saber-toothed tiger, or in the medieval days, someone coming at you with a broadsword, stress was there. But I think the key is that we had way better tools to deal with it back then, didn't we? Sorry, I should have put that as a question. What was the aspects of our ways of living thousands of years ago that helped us deal with stress, and we didn't even know it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know that the way culture has shifted over the last, especially couple hundred years. Before that, there was access to cleaner, just environmentally, a lot of it was just more conducive for a healthy body, healthy mind.
Right.
And we lived more communal, where we had our elders, and we respected our elders, and so there was all these different aspects of how we lived, which was much better for how we manage stress, for sure.
And if you get into it specifically in each area of wellness, what we call natural energy accelerators, things that naturally regulate our nervous systems, like grounding. We always walked around barefoot, or if we did have foot coverings, they were animal hides. So, electromagnetic flow through that, no problem. As you mentioned, the environment itself, we had family structure and community that was loving and supportive, and had purpose around helping us regulate each other. We had natural food, food that we evolved to get, great benefit from. We had sunshine instead of artificial light. So almost every aspect of our life was helping to regulate our nervous system, was how we evolved to have a calm, regulated nervous system, right?
Yeah, and there wasn't so many nervous system stimulators as there are
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Just the everyday data life. And yeah, obviously we know so much of that has to do with the technology we've had over the last 100, 200 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
has really shifted our day-to-day experience into one where so many of us don't even realize we are in a constant state of fight or flight. And we don't
Yeah.
recognize the impact that that's having until we get to that point where it's a must. I must fix this now.
Right. And so moving forward, like you said, if we look back, the answer to the question, hasn't there always been stress? Yes, there was. And it was more commonly life or death stress. And that's what the fight or flight response was evolved to help us survive from, right? To be able to run away, to be able to fight, to be able to, whatever we needed to do in the moment to escape those life-threatening stressors. But as you alluded to, Adam, stressors are now, they're different now. There's way more of them. They're subtle, a lot of them, and they're kind of hidden, a lot of them, right? We all love our cell phones, but that's a cause of stress because of the way the marketing on it and the art of the blue light that comes from it, all those things. So not only have we let go of those natural processes and tools to that would regulate our nervous system without us even knowing it, we've also got way more stressors hitting us all the time. And many we're aware of, sure. We talk about processed food. You people all get that. And we talk about being sedentary and laying on the couch instead of moving all the time. Everyone knows it. So why are we stuck? Why aren't we going back and going, oh yeah, I need to eat healthy food and I need to do grounding and I need to be out in nature? And why can't we just latch onto that and do it? We all know it. Why don't we do it? I'm getting all revved up.
I love it.
So why don't we do it, Adam? What is it that's stopping us from just going back and saying, okay, I'll just live more naturally?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a large part of it is our own biology or our lack of connecting to our own biology in relation to how the body uses stress and how the mind functions in relation to stress.
Right.
And when we get stuck trying to fix things or trying to find a way out of something, the mind loves to pattern us into ways of thinking that gets us to be reactive because the brain feeds off of the stress response, the hormones that get created, the adrenaline, the cortisol, right, and then the habits that we use to feel better that creates the dopamine. And so
so it's addictive, right?
Well, we are definitely in a state of high addiction to stress. And the thing is that most of us don't know it because we don't know a different experience. We've been living it for so long. So it becomes our norm. And we think it's normal to feel the way we feel. I feel brain fogged every day. I can't think clean and clear. I can't make the, snap choices in my life. And I'm stuck ruminating and I'm constantly trying to fix my sleep. I'm constantly trying to fix my diet so that I lose the weight or I feel whatever I want to feel, or, and we keep trying solutions that are supposed to help us, but yet it's part of the problem.
Right. And I know I lived a lot of my life, as you know, Adam, a pretty revved up guy, and, some ADHD type tendencies. We don't like labels, but those were my, sort of my brain's pattern of just being constantly needing to be distracted, constantly on the go and focusing on 22 things at once. And I liked it. Right. It felt like, oh yeah, when I'm really going and really hammered, that adrenaline and that dopamine felt good. And so there's an addictive component, like you say, to stress. We're not just addicted to our escapes, our sex, drugs, alcohol, gambling, cell phones, online shopping, whatever it is. We're actually addicted to the addiction of it, right? I like being revved up. And I can remember when I was younger and sort of being introduced to breath work through meditation, through yoga, just those first steps of breath work. And we'll talk later about what we prescribed breath work, but I hated it because I can't do this. It's just taking me away from being revved up. And you're asking me to be still and quiet, even for 30 seconds. I found it so challenging because I didn't yet understand what was on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
How I could feel being calm, being able to sit in nature instead of running through a hike, trying to finish it fast,
Yeah.
So it's getting to that place it's sometimes hard for people to latch onto it. So Adam, I wanted you to talk about our breath practice that we utilize, the heart flow technique. And why is that technique different than just saying, okay, join a yoga class or do a bunch of Kundalini breathing or something else? Why is it needed now in our culture?
Yeah, well, the majority of what we're being sold on in relation to feeling better in whatever capacity that is has a future focused energy to it. It's a future focused vibration. So you think about the diets and the fitness programs, even the meditation, the yogas, all those are selling us on a result that is for us to experience when we have that scheduled into our calendar. So tomorrow morning, when I know I do my yoga at 8 o'clock, or I meditate at 9 o'clock for however much time, that's when I'm going to feel peace and feel calm. And it denies you having the ability to feel that right now. And so the big differentiator with managing the way that the stress response works in our lives is to be able to manage it in the moments of life as our classroom. It's the only way to really begin to experience the separation from what the stress response has you looped in as a feeling experience, which for many, it's brain fog, it's agitation, frustration, a sense of lack of something, a sense of, I think there's more to life than what I'm experiencing right now. And yeah, the 100% there is, but it can only be experienced in the moments of life that you're being revved up by your patterned addiction to stress, and learning how to reset it in the moments of life that it's being triggered.
Excellent.
And so we use a very particular breath practice called heart flow. And the practice itself is designed based off of neuroscience to help reset your nervous system so that it's no longer sabotaged by your mind's love of using certain thoughts around your relationships, your health, your career, your finances. Those are the four main ones that it's going to create a lot of stories around to keep you looped in. And it's going to start to teach the brain how to let go of using those thoughts so that you can feel what the peace and calm, the parasympathetic really feels like as your dominant state.
Yeah. So I think there's two pieces of this, and I think it's important that out there people hear. And hey, if you're watching us, this is a Facebook Live right now, but if you're watching us on YouTube, please, hit the subscribe button and join our community. Give us a comment, give us a like if you're interested in the topic, and we'd love to have a conversation with you about it. But when Adam says, nutritious eating and exercise fitness programs and meditation, we're not saying any of those things are bad. Adam and I both exercise in our own way, what we're attracted to doing, basically having fun. We both are focused on our nutrition and make good choices predominantly. Not always. I did have a chocolate bar yesterday. I just want
80-20.
80-20. Yeah, don't give it up. But if that's all we're doing, and then we're going through our revved up day, looking forward to tomorrow's session, we're not going to be able to break free and train ourselves to be calm throughout our day. We're going to be calm for our hour after yoga or whatever and feel good, and maybe that'll last through the day. But when Adam says life is our classroom, because we're getting hit by so many stressors, and I don't care how unless you go live way out in the forest by yourself without any, cell phone towers and with just natural food, you're in a city, you're going to be hit with lots of stressors. You can't really avoid it. So our ability to notice in the moment, to be able to find the space to go, oh, okay, that's what my brain's telling me. That's what I'm feeling right now. And to be able to separate and have a tool that in less than a minute, you can have that shift back to, okay, now I'm calm. Now, what do I want in this moment? How do I want to feel? And therefore, what choices are in front of me of how I can be in this moment? And it's really, I find it really interesting and really powerful that when you commit to that and practice that, have someone to help you, stay accountable to that, because it does take a few weeks to fit in and you have it, that it can just start to generate on its own, right? And it can you can create the space to be calm throughout your day without having to, create that door opener. But certainly for the first few weeks, the ability to open the door to how you want to feel through your day, it's important.
Well, and we've got one life that we know of. And so why not learn how to experience your own existence in a way that you have this choice? Because when you tap into your nervous system in this way and you start to teach it to harness that calm, rest, and digest state, there is this daily sense of flow and ease and a state of growth that you get to start to experience that just feels so right. And it can't come from looking at it in a way of I need to fix something. The only way it can come is from in the moments that your mind is telling you I need to fix something. You need to reset that response from the brain and then bring in the feeling of what you do want. And immediately you're going to start to live that energy and that feeling. It's just training yourself to experience it.
And attract so much more into your life than you can't even imagine is possible, in terms of abundance, in terms of, despite everything that's going on around you, how you can connect to happiness and fulfillment and gratitude and abundance, and actually attract some shifts into your life that you can't even see that what's available for you, when we're so stuck in our stories of, repeating this life until one day I'll have enough money to be happy, which is, of course, what we're learning is the biggest fallacy of all, right? And so our culture of stress, to finish off on this topic, demands that we have tools to thrive in it, because the culture is not shifting fast enough or going back to being a more loving, abundant, natural culture anytime soon. So like Adam says, what do you want for your life? What do you want for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years in your life? And do you want to be happy, fulfilled, abundant, grateful, and co-regulate that for your family? Or are you happy just, stuck in your loop and reaching for your addictions to make you feel moments of happiness? And if you want the former, as I just explained it, reach out to us, and we're happy to offer you a free training of the Heart Flow Breath practice. It's the first of the two foundational practices we teach within our Unleash Your Energy coaching program, but you can have it for free. We're happy to jump on a call with you too, and give you some deeper dive into how to manifest that and manifest with that, and how to use that in your life. So, we wish for all of you the opportunity to create the life that you all want. And we're here for you if you want some help with that.
Awesome. Yeah. And I'm just going to say one final thing, if I can, around this, because I think this idea of a culture of stress, what's important is to recognize also that a lot of us are living in siloed experiences where we're inside of our own mind, and we have on average 70,000 thoughts a day. And so it becomes a very singular experience where your mind is creating this whole story around your health and your relationships and your career and your finance. And that's your life. But yet you talk to the next person beside you, and you're open and honest about what you're experiencing. You're going to notice that what we're living is it's a similar cultured experience of thought.
Yeah.
We're all living the same thoughts, and the thoughts are being created by our life experience around us, which is unfortunately not on purpose. Who knows the extent of this, but the design of the way our life is right now is sabotaging the majority of our ability to live in our own abundance. And it's because of the way that the mind creates a connection to the stress response, and the stress response and the mind start to feed off each other. And then we just loop and think this is our own lives. And we're not, everybody is experiencing very much a similar experience right now.
Well, because you said that, Adam, I've got one more thought I'd like to share as well. We could go back and forth here a while, folks, so stick with us. I think many people are starting to feel and see there's a bit of an awakening that this noise this crazy noise in their heads is limiting them and holding them back. But I think for a lot of people, what that comes with is a sense that there's something wrong with them compared to everyone else, or there's something imperfect about them that doesn't allow them to move forward like they see other people moving forward. But I can tell you from all, the hundreds of clients that we've worked with, that's such a common experience and common explanation from people, that you are not alone. This is an experience that many, many, many people are experiencing. And yes, feeling very alone and feeling that, their situation's worse, or their inability within the situation is worth it. It really isn't. There's a lot of commonality between people, and the tools are way easier to break free from this than you think they are. Do they take a little commitment? Absolutely. Do they take a little support, by a partner, by a mentor, a coach? Absolutely. But they're simple practices to break free. The biggest piece of courage is just to put your hand up and say, I want something different than I'm experiencing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you become this really, really powerful beacon of light for yourself, for your family, for your community in the world. And we know we need this more than ever right now. So I strongly, and Carl and I strongly encourage you to sit with this conversation and notice what resonates, and just really be mindful, like the difference maker is working with your nervous system in the moments of life, that it's being triggered. There's so much around us that's triggering us that we don't even realize. And when you start to clean this up and the patterns of being triggered, it's amazing how you start to feel. And it's not like, first off, the results aren't a year or months from now. It's immediate. You start to experience immediately. And your ability to start to connect to feeling that flow, it happens in a way where it grows. Every moment that you engage in this way, you just feel more into it. You gain more momentum. And then you live that for everybody else as well. So we strongly encourage you to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, reach out if you know that you're feeling alone around this and you want the right tools in the right order. We'd love to connect you to what others are doing inside of the Unleash Energy program. And yeah, we all deserve this. So thanks.
Yeah, there is a link in the explanation on YouTube, in the video explanation, a link to our website, which will get you in contact with Adam, where you can get the free breath practice.
Yeah, happy to share some time with anybody who this resonates and you're really ready to commit. I'm happy to jump on a call with anybody and give you more details on what's possible.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.